Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wavelo Stream of Thought podcast regarding the catalyst that we're taking part of in Copenhagen later on in June the 17th to the 19th. The catalyst is autonomous and sustainable ecosystems at scale. This is phase 2 of the catalyst in conjunction with various companies, including British Telecom. I'm joined here by two of my colleagues from Wavelo. So Bob and Neil, if you want to introduce yourselves.
Sure. I'm Bob Dietrich. I'm in the pre-sale group solution architecture. I'm here out of Dallas.
Neil Stryjski. I work in Toronto at Wavelo headquarters in product management. I work on the labs team. Also, I'm going to take over responsibility for the billing on the platform.
Good deal. Thanks, guys. So this catalyst is actually very broad. We're looking to prove out a number of things. Predominantly, it's a catalyst that's designed to show how we would support many thousands of devices on the edge of the network. So this is a real sort of at scale catalyst. It's around Internet of Moving Things. So the devices that we're supporting on the edge are typically going to be moving vehicles, moving drones, that kind of thing. The catalyst uses AI to measure, monitor, and suggest orchestration back down to the moving devices. And Wavelo is actually at the heart of the catalyst. We are providing multiple functions, actually, and we're here to talk about those functions today. So I'm going to hand initially over to Neil. So Neil, what made this a natural fit for Wavelo?
I think it allowed Wavelo to take what we do really well, that is event stream and orchestration, and push it out to the edge. So we're very good at this at scale with our customers, usually in the BSS OSS space. This allowed us to do a little bit more experimentation on the edge of the network. So the radio access network, where I think the legacy systems of telcos really get stressed a lot more than they even do in the OSS BSS space. I think additionally to that, because I lead from a product perspective the labs, it was great for us to be able to do that exactly. That's our mission. It's not like at Wavelo we create new Wi-Fi protocols or anything like that. We take what we do well and try to apply it to different areas of different problem areas, especially in some like viable, commercially viable ways. And I think we actually even got an opportunity to integrate Bob right into the process of designing and stuff. It was great to get his insight.
Yeah, I was going to say one thing that from more of a outside looking in, that when we got in as the event stream, we became the primary consultant or designer of this solution. There was some high level views of what we wanted to build, but if we look at some complex diagrams that we ended up architecting, there's multiple streams going on, from scalable data coming from the network to ordering flows to AI driven chatbots. And we're all the heart of that to facilitate it.
Like that role of orchestration, even though we did it from a technical perspective, it kind of gave us naturally the way to sort of help organize the catalyst itself. So even our great partners like Ulster University, CGI, OpNet kind of rallied around our architecture to help drive a cohesive solution. I think it
Right.
was, I think something like this, it's interesting how it all comes together dynamically like that.
And, and Neil, the other thing too was we were ready. I mean, your labs team was ready, and a lot of our partners weren't ready. And so we were able to kind of get things rolling with the partners that were. But given that we already had this dedicated labs team, it was great to kind of be able to take the lead
Yeah,
because we were being proactive.
yeah, I think so. It's really helpful to have a team that's like sort of out of the fray of like the regular delivering features for customers. Super important, obviously, but if you want to develop new markets, I think having a function like this is probably pretty critical. So we're looking forward to displaying this and doing new stuff in the future.
Yeah, and our other partner, right, is Michelle Nowak. I know she's not here today, but she's definitely a key part of this whole thing, driving this, because she definitely knows the ins and outs of TMF, but also how a successful Cadillac catalyst needs to be run.
This certainly is going to be a Cadillac of Catalysts, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. And this catalyst is a it's really designed to prove out that we can do this at scale, right? What do we have any specific challenges on the scale side that or things we had to do to make sure this scales up to thousands and maybe even tens of thousands of devices on the edge?
I don't think so. The architecture is pretty good at scaling like that. So I think when we get the simulated drone data, we can really crank it up and see how it behaves. We've taken some lessons learned because we're new in the RAN. We've taken some lessons learned from our partners, especially OpNet, who have seen some actual difficulties with event stream in this use case. So we've taken their considerations, the things that they've seen in the past, and built it right into the design as well.
In phase one, the model was really trying to show the integration, and they showed kind of how a drone would fly and be handed off kind of in the network. But that was one problem they had, was they could not, that would not scale. And I think what we're bringing in is something that by its nature, the event-driven architecture by its nature is scalable, as Neil pointed out.
There's a significant AI component to this catalyst, right? And I think it's not only I seem to remember that the AI is actually in two parts, and one of those parts is really about gathering data from the edge and from the devices, and then maybe proposing changes that get pushed down to the edge devices. And we're in the middle of all that too, right? Not necessarily the AI engine in this particular catalyst, but actually orchestrating the change back to the network at scale too.
I think I've heard Justin, our CEO, say that the event stream is like the rocket fuel for AI, and I think we're proving that. So while in this particular catalyst we're not supplying the AI, we're enabling the AI from OpNet and from CGI. So you're right. So also University is going to help us simulate the data because unfortunately, while we couldn't find all the drones we needed to prove this out, it's going to be simulated data. OpNet are going to take all of that data, the huge amounts of data that would originate from that many drones, and be able to derive from it where the alarms are and what needs to be done and actioned immediately. And I think CGI is looking at it from a different perspective, specifically from sustainability. So they'll be able to instruct future drones on future flights on how to do this better, and also manage things like batteries, etc.
Yep. So Andy, you're right. Both we're providing all that voluminous network data to OpNet so they can do their anomaly detection. And then, as Neil mentioned, we're also providing the business events that help CGI do some of their work and chatbots AI work.
This is very cool to see. I know we're looking forward to a nice demo of it. Um, Guys, talk about we did a fair amount of work in this catalyst on the integration side, right? Because there's sometimes perceived challenges in the industry integrating between, if you like, good old-fashioned APIs and modern event streaming systems. But we solved that, right, for this catalyst.
Well, we're doing both actually. We have the event stream, and we're also supplying some APIs. We're making those APIs kind of like two ways. So we're with the event stream able to push out notifications and events to Ulster. They don't have the event stream architecture or capability, but we're able to extend it using APIs, traditional APIs. So while you have our more advanced partners like CGI and OpNet able to interact directly with our event bus, we're also able to facilitate sort of more legacy.
Yeah, Andy, it's very refreshing where on some parts there are collaborative companies ready to embrace the event-driven architecture, and they plug right in. And then, as you mentioned, there are traditional point-to-point APIs that we're able to wrap, with Wavelo Connect and put that right into the event stream. And we kind of leverage that in, we were building out that concept of an API event factory where we kind of built a methodology on we can bring these REST APIs in, and we're able to generate the corresponding event type APIs on the back end. And so that kind of was proved out in this catalyst in the back office kind of the catalyst.
Like integrate you right into that design process, Bob. I thought that was a really neat new idea that we had because you were so close with us on the catalyst. It was easy to sort of get your extra feedback where I think typically we'd been a little bit more segregated than that. It was a nice exercise.
Yeah.
that we were able to do with this catalyst. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now that's interesting because obviously Bob spends a lot of time with customers and prospects, and so one of the things I would this is kind of interesting, this integration thing, and because we typically in the OSS BSS and we're kind of bringing this to the network just to kind of prove out our approach. Maybe this is a question for you, Bob. What should the broader sort of telecoms industry, from a sort of OSS BSS perspective, what should they take away from this catalyst? Do you think? Is there like a sort of finally a 5G monetization kind of story? Do you think?
I think so. Yeah. The and boy, there was a lot of cool things that we're doing. I mean, just with the scale. I mean, where you don't have to build in scale. It kind of comes natively with what we built with the event streaming, being able to tie into AI, where everything going forward needs AI, and especially around some of this complex network management and orchestration. You're leveraging AI to do everything from, helping spinning up environments so a drone can send down the high quality videos when needed. We're able to spin down that when they don't need it. We're able to do sustainability, but also there's the real time billing aspect that we have an opportunity to highlight, where as you're adding more and more different services for these complex 5G environment, you can start monetizing that. So as you give customers better quality service, you can ratchet up how much you're charging them also, and we can support that in a real-time billing environment.
The telcos have had a very difficult time figuring out IoT. This is IoMT. I mean, that's a new acronym for me, but I just think that the telcos haven't invested enough in the platforms to be able to sort of help customers achieve the results. And so they've had difficulty putting it together. And I think if you offer something like this to telcos, it probably is a way for them to unlock some of that 5G monetization, a puzzle they haven't solved, and 6G is on its way. So they probably want to start doing that.
Yeah, we hear a
Yeah,
lot
and it's
about
all
these. Sorry about
and all
that.
that's event driven, right? Any event can then trigger a billing event, and so we're ready to go.
Exactly. So I think probably we need to do a phase three of this, Andy. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think I think there's an intent that this catalyst will plug in quite nicely into our billing system, into our real-time billing system. Excuse
For
me.
sure. Yeah.
Maybe
And
we should talk
because,
about that for a second.
well, exactly. I mean, now that I'll sort of be expanding my purview within Wavelo towards the billing back to the future, because I started there, um, it would be easy to see how if you're working with a telco that you could use this same data in order to get more money out of the network that they're providing and that they've already invested so much money in.
Yep, very cool.
Hey, Neil, was there anyone else in the labs you want to call out working
Well,
on
yeah,
this?
Tyler was the guy leading it from the beginning. Well, no, not from the beginning. Tom,
Yeah,
Tom kind of left and handed it over to him. So
yeah,
it was a big opportunity for him to step up and sort of take responsibility for such a large initiative.
excellent.
I think maybe he didn't understand it actually until he saw all of the people come into Copenhagen with us, and he'll be there too.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Actually, so we do have quite a large presence in Copenhagen. We're very excited about the catalyst. I think it's demonstrating and proving out not only that there is a way forward for scaling the management of a large number of Internet of Moving Things devices, but also that the technology exists to make that relatively straightforward, and then obviously extends very nicely for us into the back office as well, and kind of connects the OSS BSS with the network pretty nicely. So that's it from me, guys. Did you want any last kind of comment before I wrap here?
Thank you.
Copenhagen, that's where they brew Carlsberg, right? Yeah, yeah.
I think there is, and if you've never had a Danish pastry, that's the
Ah,
place to get
excellent.
it. All right,
Well,
all right,
here in
guys.
Texas, Copenhagen is a can of tobacco.
There you go. Let's see what we get in in Denmark. All right, guys. Hey, appreciate your time. I'll see you on the other side.